Yeah, so as they join, maybe this morning I want to have some revision. I think we have been having some revisions together.
Yes.
You'll be having some revisions where you could access other notes. Yeah, so I want to have some revision. I'm using a past paper here. I'm using the July 2020 past paper.
Yes.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, I want to have some revision. Yeah, because I think we have covered most of the topics together. I want to have some revision. Yeah. So I'll be using July 2020 past paper.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have a question. And we have a question here. Like this one, you have this one. Like we have this one. You can read it for you.
Yes.
That you explain the server-based networks. That you explain the server-based networks. Setting to stability, the server-based network. I think I remember in networks we covered the classification of networks. I think I've posted the question there. And the question: explain the server-based networks using a diagram. Setting to stabilities of the network. So now when we talk about the network now, they are categorized into two. We have classification based on size, and we have classification based on what? Point of control together. Or what we call, there's a problem with your mic.
My mic.
That is making some echoes.
Okay. Give me a second.
So I'm saying we have this question here that you're supposed to explain the server-based network using a diagram together. And I say now, when we talk about the classification of networks, you can have the classification based on size, and you have classification based on what? Point of control. For example, this question here from this paper here is supposed to explain now that classification of network based on what? Point of control, the server-based network. And you know what happens in server-based networks? I think we covered this on our things. Is it true? We covered what? The server-based network. We must be having one computer which is acting as a server. Together.
Yes.
Yeah, one computer which is acting as a server, and the rest acting as a client. So in this network now, we must be having centralized control. We must be having what? Centralized control. We must be having an administrator who is supposed to manage what? That network. So what happens in this network now? All the resources together are stored in the server. So in case any individual user requires to use a certain resource or to have an access to a certain resource now, he must be given access by the administrator. So let me just show you a diagram of a server-based network. Let me just share a screen here of a diagram of what? Of a server-based network. Because you're supposed to explain now using what? A diagram. Just show you a server-based network. Just share a screen. And now, as I open the screen, we have the stability of the server-based network. Now, for this network now, it is applicable now in case an organization is having more than 10 users. You can use what? This network in case the organization is having more than 10 users. Still, another suitability of this network, it can be used now in case now the organization has a lot of users who are accessing what? That network. In case you have a lot of users who are accessing that network, you can use what you call the server-based network. So let me just show you a diagram here of a server-based network. Let me just show you. Yeah, let me just share the screen. Yeah, can you see that, Ernest? Able to see that? Yeah, like now we have this diagram here. You have this diagram here. This is what we call the server-based network. If you look at this diagram here, we're having a central server here. We're having what? All the client computers now. So now, for any client computer access the information, it has to be given access by the server. This is what we call centralized control. This is what we call centralized control. Yeah, I hope you understood, Ernest, that question. Any question, Ernest, on that? Any question?
Yes.
So have you understood the server-based network?
Yes.
Yeah, that is okay. That is a question from the July 2020 past paper. Then still, we look at this question now. We have this question. We have this one.
Excuse.
Yes.
Excuse. You have said while using a server-based
Yeah.
network in point control,
Yeah.
it's used when applying and using many computers.
So for this one, for the server base, we can build for the server base now. What happens now?
Yes.
We have a central server. We have what? We have a central server. This central server now, all the information is kept in the server. So in case now any current computer would like to access the information, he is given access by the what? By the server. That is what we call centralized control. You must be having an administrator who manages what that in the network. It's very secure. Together. The student now honest.
Yes.
Yeah, that is okay. And if you look at this diagram now, what you're having a server in the middle point, in the central position. Together. Having a server in the central position. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that is what we call the server based network.
Network.
Yeah, then we have this question now. You have this question that you state two benefits of an email. You explain two benefits of an email. What an email now is a convenient way of sending messages from one point to another point. What are the advantages of an email, Ernest? What are the advantages? One of the advantages is what? It's convenient. Is it true? Convenient.
Convenient.
Yeah. What else?
It's
Still, we can say that it is less expensive. Is it true? It's not less expensive. Right together. If you
yes.
compare, if you
Yes.
compare the email and other forms of communication, it's a bit what less expensive. Yeah. So these are the
Expensive.
benefits
Yes.
of an email. Yeah, of an email.
And,
Yeah. Yeah. Then,
and
yeah,
yes. Continue.
yeah. And there is a lot of noise on the background here. There is a lot of noise where you are. Yeah. So we can proceed now. We can have this question now. We have this question. You're supposed to differentiate between an application software and a system software, giving an example in each. We have this one. You differentiate between application software.
Pardon. Pardon.
Yeah,
Pardon.
let me just. Are you able to see the question? I have posted. The question. Are you able
Yes.
to see
Yes.
it?
I've seen it. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So you differentiate between an application software and a system software, giving an example in each. Now, whenever we talk about an application software, this is a software that enables the end user to perform what? It's software that enables the end user to perform what some activities, or it enables the user to perform his day-to-day activities. So, which are these examples of application softwares? You can have the Microsoft Word or the word processor software. That together, you can have that. You can have the accounting softwares. You can have the presentation softwares. These are called what application softwares. But now, whenever I talk about the system software, this is a software that manages the computer hardware. Another software. It is able to manage and control the computer hardware and other softwares. And a good example of a system software is what you call an operating system. You have what you call an operating system. Yeah, that is what you call. So have you understood?
Yes. Yes.
Alex? Yeah. So apart
Yes.
from
Yes.
the
I've understood.
yeah, I think I've given the examples of the application software. You have said you have what you call the accounting software, database software, presentation software. Which other softwares do you know? The software. Yes?
Softwares
Yeah.
like
You know, softwares are categorized into two. We have the application software and you have what you call the system software. Is it true? Is it true? And I've given the examples of the application software. Yes? Yes?
yes.
I'm asking, I've given examples of the application
Yes.
software. I think I've given examples. You have said we have what you call the accounting software. Is it true? The presentation
Yes.
software. What the processing software. Which other
Yes.
softwares do you know? An application software. Just give me one other software, you know.
Yes. In data.
Yeah?
Data.
Which is that a software? Honest, is that a software? Yeah, but those were the application softwares. Now we have this question
Software.
here. Yeah, we have this question now. I want to give you the definition now. What is the difference between data and information? Honest. The difference between data and information. Hmm? Differentiate between data and information. Honest. What is the difference between data and information?
Different data.
Yes.
Okay. A data is
What is the difference? What about information now? What about information?
information.
What about what? Yes. So
Information is
yes.
the process by which people communicate. It's a
But now,
process that
yeah, that is correct. It is all processed data. So whenever we talk about data now, data, these are raw facts with the rest meaning or without what a meaning. And what happens now in a computer system, we key in data. Using what? The input capital. But together, this is
yes,
you have said these are raw facts without what a meaning or the rest meaning. And you have said you key in data using what the input capital. For example, you can key in data using what? A keyboard. You can key in data using what? For example, a digital camera together. But now, once that data has been processed, once the process has processed that information, we have what we call information now. So information is that processed data which has a meaning. Is that what? Processed data which has a meaning and can be used for decision making. That processed data which has a meaning and can be used for what? For decision making. That is what we call information. So you have understood that. Then, Ernest, you have this question. Highlight 3 ways to protect the
excuse. You said information is the
we have
processed data
yes,
which have a meaning
yes,
and can be used in.
decision making. It can be used in decision making now. Yeah.
Okay.
The people in this organization can use that information for decision making. Yeah. So you have this question now that you highlighted 3 ways to protect the computer hardware from theft. The ways you can protect now the computer hardware from theft. Yeah. Which are these ways? The ways you can protect a computer hardware from theft. Which are these ways?
Which computer had? I'm writing the question.
Yes.
From that. I was writing the question. Okay. According to me,
Yeah, I can hear.
I think maybe it's maybe
Yeah, I am listening.
when the
Yeah, maybe what you can do now for this one, for example, now that you have 3 ways to protect now the computer hardware from theft. First of all, you can ensure you use the physical locks. So together you can have all the physical locks. For example, maybe these computers in the laboratory together, or they're kept in a certain room. You can lock that room using a padlock. That is one thing. I think that is one way. By using what physical locks together. So I've just given what else can we do now apart from that now?
putting the password in the computer.
No. But you see now, maybe maybe the person is sitting, you look at the computer. We are saying, how do you protect the computer hardware from theft? They must be locked somewhere. That is the one. I think that they must be what? They must be locked somewhere. Then still, we can use metallic structures. We can use what? Metallic structures. I think for example, the vegetable metallic. I think that. Still, we can use what we call the surveillance cameras. We can use what? The surveillance cameras, the CCTVs. Yeah, these are the mechanisms now we can put in place to prevent what the computer from theft. Still, we can use biometrics. For example, in case you want to access that room which is having these hardware now, there must be the biometrics. Together. So you have to place your fingerprint together for it to be given to for it to be granted access together. We can use biometrics together. Or then what to be on the door. Yeah. So these are the mechanisms. And if you connect them, you have said by using what? Physical.
Physical
By using
locks.
Using
Metallic
computer scanners.
structure.
Yes,
Yes. Metallic structures.
yes.
Biometrics. CCTVs.
You have some of the biometrics now, they will act like a you have to place your hand now. I guess that to be given access to
The
to
computer.
that hardware together.
The
Yeah,
hardware. Yes, yes.
yes. Then we have this question now. We have this question. We have this question. You explain two types of backup. We have this question. You explain two types of backups. Now, which are these? Which backup do you know? Types of backups. Hmm? You
Hmm.
explain types of backups.
Uh, what if I say?
Yeah.
It, uh, you give me one example. Let's see if I can.
Yeah. For example, there is what is called a local backup. The reason we back up some information, for example, maybe you have stored some information in a certain computer, together, and that computer maybe crashes together or is infected by malware. So we have to ensure we have a backup or we have placed the information in a different computer in a different what hard disk. So one of the types of backup is what is called a local backup. We have what we call a local backup together. You can back up the information in the same what, the same computer in a different what drive together in a different drive. For example, you can have local disk, maybe J is a backup. Together is what you call a local backup. Still, you can back up the information in an external hard disk. Together, or in an external what? DVD. You can have the same information in the computer, or those essential information or those essential data in the computer, you just place them in a what? In an external what drive, either DVD or hard disk. That is what we call a local backup. Then there is what we call a cloud backup. Yeah, a local backup. Then there is what we call a cloud backup. A backup. Have a cloud where? Yeah, a backup. So in a cloud backup, now what happens now? The information is stored online. We have the application service providers who provide what? Large space for storage of information. For example, Safaricom, they have cloud servers together. So we can store the information in what? From those application service providers. Then there is what we call, we can have a remote backup. You can have a remote backup. Have what? A remote backup. So what happens in this one, the remote backup now, the information,
Excuse. You have said a hack backup or a we can
a local, there is a local
no.
backup,
Yes, yes,
a
yes.
cloud,
As
cloud
I've
backup,
understood, I've understood the local and the
or the
cloud
cloud.
backup.
Yeah.
Yes, and you are saying the
And it,
statement, the previous statement which you are saying. So
yeah.
before the information is backed up online,
Yeah. So
there
I'm
is
saying,
yes.
let me just pardon.
Before there is a statement which you are saying after the point which you have said the information can be backed up online.
Yeah.
You're saying hacked or
Oh, so you're saying what happens in the, maybe I can explain once more in the cloud
yes,
backup together. So what happens
yes,
in this one, the information is stored online together in cloud servers. In
yes,
cloud
yes.
servers.
So
So some service providers like Safaricom, they provide what these large servers together. Thereby you can store a lot of information together.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
So these backups they are provided by what? Application service providers together. Yeah.
yes,
Thereby, for example, you can have maybe 30 that GB. I think that GB. I think that we can have that GB, not even that GB, that terabyte. That is
yes,
what
yes.
large space for what? For information
For
together.
information,
That is what
yes,
we call a cloud backup.
backup,
Mhm.
yes,
Then there is what we call a remote backup. A remote backup now it is stored in a different location. Together. And now for the remote backup now, it has to be connected to the main machine by using a network. So in case now the information or data is lost in the main computer, it can be retrieved via the network. That data can be retrieved via what? The network. That is what we call a remote backup. Understood? Yeah. I hope you understood that. Then we have this question now. We have this question. We have this question now. Differentiate between a client computer and a server. You differentiate between a server and a client machine. You differentiate between a client and a server machine. So whenever we talk about a client machine, this is a computer that allows the user to log on to the network. It's a computer that allows the user to log on to the network and to take advantage of the resources on that network. That is what we call a client machine. But now, when we talk about the server now, this is a much more powerful computer. It's a much more powerful computer that incorporates a large memory. They must be having a large memory. They must be having several disk drives. They must be having what? Faster processors. So have you understood the difference between a server and a client machine, Ernest? So have you understood the difference?
Pardon the part of the client machine. I haven't
Yeah, so you
understood
have
it.
said the client
Yes.
machine is just a computer together that allows the user. Remember, we are the users of what of this machines. So it allows the user to log on to the network and to take advantage of the resources on that network. So the resources on the network can be what the email services. So together you can have maybe information on on this server. So together that is what we call a client machine. That computer that allows the user to log on to the network and take advantage of the resources on that network. And you have seen now for the server, this is a much more powerful computer that incorporates a large memory. They must be having faster processors. They must be having what? Zero disk drives. Still, you can see the same server can have extra peripherals. But again, I can have what? Extra peripherals. So, have you understood the difference between a server and a client machine?
Yes, I've understood.
Yeah. Now we have this question. Now, yeah, this question. This question goes to you. You're supposed to explain the types of computers based on what? Based on data processing. Explain the classification of computers based on what? Data processing. Which are these? Explain the classification of computers based on what? Data processing. Because now the computers can be categorized based on four classifications altogether. So we can have classification based on size, data processing, purpose, and generation. So now I want to explain now the types of computers based on what data processing we have. Which are these computers, Ernest? Yeah. Which are these, Ernest?
Lucas.
So Ernest, which are these computers?
Mm.
So these computers, yeah, which are these? And which are these computers? So let me just explain them. There is what you call you have the digital computer. Is it true? You have the digital computer. We have
Yes.
analog and hybrid. So we have the digital computer. So this digital computer, this is a computer that is able to process data in discrete nature together. Is able to process data in discrete nature. And now for these computers, they're able to store information in a binary format. They're able to store information in a binary format. So information in this computer is stored in terms of what? Zeros and ones. Understood? Zeros and one. And most of the computers we use today, they are what? They are digital computers. The information is able to be processed, but it's processing information that is in what? In discrete nature. And you have said the information is kept in terms of binary zeros and ones. Then there is what we call analog computers that process what? Continuous data. These computers, the analog, they are used to measure physical magnitude and pressure. They are used to measure physical magnitude and pressure. And some of these computers, they are used in what? In manufacturing what? Industries. Then the last classification is what we call the hybrid computers. And you know the term hybrid, what it means? Hybrid means what? A combination. So the hybrid now is able to combine both the digital and analog. It is able to depict both the features of analog and digital. These are what we call the hybrid computers. So I hope you have understood that, Ernest, now. There's classification based on what? Based on the processing. Any question on that, Ernest?
Okay, I had a question.
Yeah, you can ask.
In the backups.
Yeah, you can ask.
So you talked about the cloud backup.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we say the cloud backup is where the information is backed online. So
On the cloud
when
servers.
yes, cloud,
Yeah.
it's backup online, right?
Yeah.
So I was asking whether
Yeah.
there's some backups nowadays like Google, and we can backup some
Or
some some you can backup using the email. So are those types of backups categorized in the cloud?
no. They are categorized as what? As online backups. That together online. You can have the online that good drive right together. But you can
Yes.
synchronize the information. That is an online backup. For the cloud now, it has a large memory. Right together. It has what?
Yes.
Large memory. So it is online, but it has what? A large memory. Right together.
Mm.
Yeah, because for the online now, for example, like the Google Drive, maybe you can have maybe a maximum of maybe 50 MB. Together 50 MB. Some have 1 GB together. But for the cloud backup, it has what? A very large memory. Yeah. For the cloud has what? A very large memory. Maybe in terms of
Memory.
terabyte. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is okay. Then we have this question. Yeah, we can proceed now. Let me just see this first paper. Yeah. Let me check on that question. Yeah, listen to this question. Outline two characteristics of modern computers. You outline two characteristics of modern computers. Which are the features, which are the attributes of what? Of modern computers. Remember, these computers are digital. What are the characteristics of modern computers? So one of the characteristics is what you call speed. These computers are able to process
Like
information at a faster rate. Together.
speed. Let me try another
Yeah.
item. And what if we say
Yes.
the computer is the memory?
Yeah. You can see in terms of memory now. You can talk about what a large storage. Storage.
And
That is
storage.
correct. Yeah. What else?
What if we say uh, the modernized keyboard?
Maybe for the features now, apart from the storage and the speed, you can talk about the security, the secrecy together. About what they say, the secrecy together.
Yes,
So
I
because
have
now for these computers now, you can have you can protect the data by using what a password. I think the hotel
accuracy.
correct. You have accuracy together. These computers are accurate, but now the accuracy depends now with the person who is feeding the information in the computer together. Yeah, but they
Yes.
are very accurate. That is correct. What else?
Another one. The uh, let me think. Mhm. Stability.
Not really, not really. You can maybe you can have the main. You can have maybe in terms of security. You can have secrecy and together. And still, you
Yes.
can say that a computer can be able to can perform the same work day in day out without getting tired. And together,
Yes.
versatility. That is what we call versatility. A computer can do the same thing day in day out without getting tired. And
That,
together,
yes.
yeah. Yeah, so these are some of the characteristics of the computer.
Computer.
Yeah. Then you can have this question now. You can have this question. You can have this question. Yeah. Let me just share the screen. You see this diagram now. Together. You
Yes.
identify this keyboard together. And let me
Yes.
just share the screen. You identify this keyboard. So Ernest, can you see that diagram? Right? Can you see that cable? I want to identify the cable. Just identify that cable.
As I've
Just
seen
identify
the
which is that cable.
a land.
Yeah, which is
The
that cable. Just look at it very well, and you describe where it is used. Where is it used?
It is used when
No, before you fail, you first identify the cable. First identify the cable. Because now, yeah,
yes,
in case you fail in Roman 1, you fail in Roman 2. Is it true?
yes,
Yeah. Wait, start from Roman
it,
1. Is this cable?
land cable.
Not really, not run cable. Just look at it very well. Look at it very well.
Mm,
However, it is used in a computer. For example, in case you're using a desktop computer, you always use this cable. Now, this cable is what we call this is a VGA cable. This is a what? A VGA
pardon,
cable.
you
It's a
said it, sir?
VGA cable.
Can you just type for me?
It's okay. Let me just type it for you.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, and if you ever seen, for example, in case you want to, it is used for to display information from the system unit to the monitor together. Yeah, it is used to display information from the system unit to the monitor. Yeah, and you have to use it. And if you have ever seen, I think now you know about the cable now. Honest, used to transmit information from the system unit to the computer, to the monitor. Yeah, because there's no way you can view the information or you can work on the information on the monitor unless you have to have this cable together. Yeah. So the meaning of this cable, it means the video graphics array. I think that the video graphics array. Just repeat for you. I hope you're able to see that. I think that the video graphics array. So you can use this cable to connect to even to the project or to the projector. Any question?
I have a question. And
Yeah.
the cable which is always used when you want to transfer an
Yeah.
information from
Yeah.
one computer to another computer.
That is what we call it a LAN cable. A LAN cable together. An
Yes,
Ethernet cable together. Yeah. And this cable still can be used in network. So together can be used in what? In a network.
network.
Together. Let me just show you the diagram of that cable. We can show the diagram of that cable. Let me just show you. Just show you. Yes, I'm sharing the screen. Let me just show you.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes, I'm seeing them.
Yeah, this is what you call it. This is the cable you're talking about. Together, the Ethernet cable together. So this cable you
Yes,
can use it to connect to the network together. You can use it to transfer the data together. Yeah. Then we have this question now. Let me have this question. We have this question. Yeah. That is stated to benefit that an organization can gain by using computers. What are the benefits of computers in an organization? What are the benefits of computers now in an organization? What are these benefits?
okay. The computer
Yeah.
can work for. It's not a computer can store memories.
Yeah. So you can say the first one is the storage. Because a computer provides what a large storage whereby the organization they can store their what their records.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
and
Yes. So you have storage. What else?
the computer can work for a long time without getting tired.
Yeah, that is true. Still, we can use now the same computer in terms of communication together. In terms of what communication together. You can have, for
Yes,
example, you can use the computer access what the email services together. Yeah,
yes,
still the same computer is able to perform tasks at a faster rate.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then you can have this question. That is good. That is good. I want to know. Yeah, this question. This question goes to you now. That you state two types of computer viruses. You state two types of computer viruses. Which are these types of computer viruses? Which are these? Ernest, which are these types of computer viruses? Of course, they have around four viruses. Which are these? Which one do you know? Yeah, you state two types of computer viruses.
Okay.
Maybe I can help you on this. I think that we have around four. We have the macro viruses. The first one is what we call the macro viruses. Let me just type it for you.
Yes.
Macro viruses. Yeah, the macro. I hope you have seen it. You've seen it.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah, for these viruses now, these are the viruses. And remember, maybe I can explain first what is a virus. Let me just explain first what is a virus. So a virus now, this is a malware. Is a what? Is a malware that is able to alter the normal function of the computer. The malware that is able to alter the normal function of the computer. So the first one is what we call a macrovirus. So this is a virus that is able to affect what? The application of programs. So together, for example, we can have it can affect what? The Microsoft Word. It can affect accounting softwares. It can affect what? Database softwares. That is what we call what? A macrovirus. It affects what? The application programs. Understood?
Yeah.
Then there is what we call the time bomb virus. Let me just have it for you. The time bomb virus. We have what we call the time bomb virus. So for this now, they're supposed to replicate. Together, they're supposed to replicate after what? A certain period of time. So the person who have prepared or who have programmed that virus, he can say that it's supposed to replicate or it's supposed to start affecting the computer after a specific period of time. Understood now?
Yes.
Then there is what we call the Trojan horse. The
Pardon?
Trojan horse. The
Pardon?
last one, Trojan horse.
So, oh yes.
There is what we call
Trojan
the
horse.
Trojan horse. Yeah, Trojan horse virus. And this one is very, very common. For this one now, even the reason it's called Trojan, this is a malware that is able to impersonify itself. Altogether, it is able to masquerade as a what? As a legitimate program, but its objective now it is to add the normal function of the computer. So you can say it is a computer in a good program, but its objective is to affect the computer.
Computer. Yes.
That is what we call a Trojan horse virus. Then we can have the worms, but not for the
Worms.
worms now. Not,
Yes.
for the worms, they're not viruses. I'll come back to that. So you have the macrovirus, then virus, then virus, Trojan. Then there's what we call the boot viruses. Yeah, have what we call the boot viruses.
Yes.
We have what we call the boot virus. So these are the
Viruses.
viruses now that are able to affect the boot sectors of the hard disk. They are able to affect what? The boot sectors of the hard disk.
So, excuse, I was asking, what
Yeah.
are the boot sectors of the hard disk?
For example, the operating system iko kwa hard disk, ndio?
Yes.
For example, ile Windows 10 iko kwa hard disk, ndio?
Yes.
What
Yes.
happens
Yes.
now when you hard disk kuna boot sectors, but kuna boot sectors. So this virus now it affects your hard disk or boot sectors. So you realize once they are affected, there is no way that OS or that Windows can be loaded in the laptop. Together, so haiwezi funguka. Together, understood?
Yes. Yes. I've understood. And
Yeah, yeah,
I also there is a virus
yeah.
called file virus.
Which one?
File virus.
Fine. I'm not sure about that virus. Which one is it? Maybe you can just. Which is it?
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
file.
Maybe these are the viruses that are able to affect the files. So together, yeah, let me just clarify it for you. Together, let me just clarify it for you. I believe these are the viruses that are able to affect what the files. So together, the computer files. So together, let me just create. Let me just check it for you. Let me just confirm it for you. Yeah, these are the viruses, as you had said, these are the viruses that are able to affect all the computer files. So together, remember the computer, you can have the master files. So together, you can have the program files, you can have the application files. So together, you can have what? The directory files. So together, these are the viruses that are able to affect what? The computer files. So together, yeah.
Yes.
And now, what you know, you are requested to state two characteristics. So before I go to the characteristics, now I was about to explain something here. A worm. Together. I was about to explain something a worm. Because now a virus and a worm, they are different. They are different. But now they share something in common. Both are malware. Both are what? Both are malware. Together. Both are malware. Both they can affect the computer. Both they can affect the computer. But now we said the virus it has to rely on another program for its existence. Is it true?
Yes.
It has to decide within what another program. But now whenever we talk about the worm do not rely on another program. A worm it is self-autonomous. It can manage itself. It can just stay on its own. Because it can just stay on its own and start affecting what other computer programs. That is the main difference between what a worm and a virus. A virus has to rely on another program for its existence. But for the worm, it can self-manage itself. What if now you are requested to state two characteristics of computer viruses? To state two characteristics of computer viruses. Which are these characteristics of computer viruses?
Okay. The characteristics are like they have to rely on other program.
Yeah, that is correct. They have to rely on other program for existence. Still, we can say the viruses they're able to destroy the data. They can do what? They can destroy the data together. Still, the viruses they can alter the normal function of the computer. Understood?
Yes.
Still, the viruses they can propagate in the computer. They're able to propagate and replicate. To replicate now, it is to subdivide into what small portions together. Can replicate or they can subdivide themselves in small portions and they start propagating. So these are the characteristics of what computer viruses.
The part of when you saying they can subdivide, it means that they can spread.
No. To subdivide, it is to replicate. Inaweza kidogo. Yeah. To propagate now, it is to spread. To spread. They start moving.
Yes.
Yeah, they start moving. Then we have a question here. We have this question. You have this question. Explain two functions of a router. Explain two functions of a router. Functions of a router for you. Yeah. You explain two functions of a router. Remember, a router is using networks together. And for you even to have even in internet, you must have a router. So what is a router? Have you ever seen a router?
Yes.
What is the function? What is the function of that router? What is the function of that router?
It helps in when one want to connect in the internet, to use the internet.
We can say now a router is used to communicate with the ISP. It's used to communicate with the ISP. Remember the ISP, This is the company that provides what the internet services. You can use that router. Then still another function of the router, it is used to forward packets to the intended destination. It is used to forward packets to the intended destination. Together. So a packet is a unit of data. A packet is a what? A unit of data. Because what happens now, information on the network or the internet is in terms of what? Per packet. It is able to forward the packet to the intended destination. Still, another advantage, not another advantage, another function of the router, it is used to connect two different wide area networks. It is used to connect two different wide area networks. So these are the three main functions of the router. We have understood that.
Excuse, pardon, you've said it's used to connect two different
Wide area networks. Wide area networks. That can be used to connect two different wide area networks. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So these are the three main functions of the router.
Okay.
Yeah, what if now you are requested, you can listen to this question, you differentiate between a switch and a hub. Yeah, I want to just type it. What is the difference between these two, a switch and a hub? What is the difference between these two, a switch and a hub? Unless honest, what is the difference between a switch and a hub? Honest.
A switch.
Yeah.
A switch. I think a switch is used.
Yeah.
Is used to connect various networks.
Yeah. What about a hub?
A hub. It's used to connect multiples.
Yeah, maybe let me yeah, no. Let me just certify it for you. Both the switch and the router, the switch and the hub, they perform the same function together. They can be used to do what to extend the network together, can be used to extend the network. But the main difference between now a switch and a hub, a switch is able to connect multiple computers together. It's able to connect with many computers. But now a hub can be used to connect just a few computers, maybe like five. Maybe like five. Understood?
Yes.
Then a switch, another difference is that a switch is more intelligent than a hub. Altogether, it is more intelligent than a what than hub. Let me just show you a diagram of a switch and a hub. Let me just show you. And we can have and the main switch that is used nowadays is the Cisco 2960 switch. Altogether, Cisco 2960, 2920 switch. The Cisco 2920 switch. Let me just show you a diagram of a switch and a hub. Yeah, I hope you can see that now. I hope you can see that. Let me just share the screen. Is here. Yeah, I have honest now. You're able to see now this is a switch. So together, you can see now this switch now has more number of ports. And together, so you can use to connect what many computers. This is what we call a switch. I think you've ever seen it in an ICT lab. This one.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, then a hub has been about ports. Let me just show you a hub now. A hub. Can have like 5 ports. I'll be able to see now the hub. But together, you can see now this hub here. It has what number of ports. So together, yeah, you can see that honest.
Yes, yes, I've seen.
Yeah, so then you can have this question now. You can have this question. Differentiate between a local area network and a wide area network. Differentiate between a local area network and a wide area network. Together, we have
Yes.
a LAN and one. What is the difference between these two? LAN and one.
I think
What is the
I
difference between
think
these two?
I think I think the difference are
Yeah,
a local it's used a land it's used
yeah.
is not is used. Let me start with the one.
That is okay.
It is used when 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 it is used to a one can be used when you want to
Yeah,
connect two
remember.
different.
This is the class.
Yes,
Remember, this is the classification of networks. So together, based on size. Yeah, together you have to remember that.
uh, okay. Our can be used in to connect to two different networks in.
Yeah, maybe can help you. So whenever we talk about a LAN, together, a LAN is what we call a local area network together. And for this one, it can be used to connect or it covers a small geographical region together. It covers a small geographical region. For example, in a school, and now in a school, we have what we call a local area network. For example, even in a building, we can have what a small network called what a LAN. So a LAN is a network that is able to cover a small geographical region together. It covers what a small geographical region. But now, when we talk about a WAN means what? A wide area network. It means a wide area network. So this is a network that is able to cover, that spans or covers a large geographical region. For example, a country. A country can have what? A WAN. Still, there is what we call a MAN, the metropolitan area network. Can have what? The metropolitan area network. So a MAN is a network that covers a larger geographical region than a LAN, but smaller than a WAN. So a MAN is in between what? LAN and WAN. For example, in a city, you can have what? A network. That is what we call a metropolitan area network. It is able to cover a large geographical region than a what? Than a LAN, but smaller than a WAN. Let me just show you a diagram of a LAN. In case in an exam scenario, yes, yes, Ernest? Yes, Ernest, I can hear you. Just ask the question. You can ask the question.
Have you said a man
Yeah.
is a network that can cover large area than a one, but
No. We have said a man in the metropolitan area network. It is a network that can cover a large geographical region than a LAN, but
okay,
smaller than
okay,
a WAN. Yeah, it is in between LAN and WAN. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, we understood.
Yes, yes, I've understood.
Yeah. But if now you're requested to illustrate now using a diagram, can you illustrate a LAN using a diagram? If it's requested on an exam scenario, you illustrate now using a diagram, a LAN network. Can you do that?
Yes, yes.
Can you do that? But let me also share a screen. I show you that together. For example, let me just show you a LAN network. Let me just show you a LAN network.
Okay.
This is a simple LAN together. Let me just show you. I'm sharing the screen. Let me just show you an illustration of a LAN network together. The devices that are supposed to be incorporated in a LAN. It's a requested not to illustrate. So I'm sharing the screen. Yeah, I open now Annex. You can see that illustration of a LAN. Can you see that Annex? Yeah, this is what you call a LAN. This is an illustration of a LAN network. You can see that.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
Kuni rada
This
moja
Annex.
tu.
I able to see the Annex. Together, this is what you call a LAN. Together. Yeah, if it's
Oh,
requested now, you can
yes,
have
yes,
a
yes.
few computers together, and you can have
Yes,
maybe a switch in the middle
in
together.
the middle.
Let me
Yes,
just show you now. Just show you one together. Just show you one.
oh, alarm.
I can have two routers together. Let me just show you. Just show the yeah, this you can have this one. If you can see it now, you have this one. That is what you call hot one together. You can see now we're having a router somewhere. You can see now we're having a route. We're having a router, and you can have other kind of computers together. You can have the laptop now. You can have the desktop. You can have even the servers here together. Yeah, this is what we call a network that is able to span a large geographical region. That is an illustration. If it's requested to come up with a diagram, you can just draw that. But we must be having the router somewhere. Any question on that?
Understood, I've understood.
Yeah, that is okay.
And can you be asked to draw a LAN?
Yes, you can be requested to draw around. Yeah, you can be requested. Actually, I think there's a paper. I think there's July 2016. Together.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we have this paper, July 2016 past paper. You have been requested to illustrate a land, and there are 5 marks. 5 marks together.
Yes.
Yeah. Now we have this question now. We have this question. So just listen to this question. It's in a past paper. Jacob said, just listen. Jacob intends to install a local area network, the organization he works for. Jacob intends to install a local area network for the organization he works for by using a suitable topology. Jacob intends to install a local area network for the organization he works for by using a suitable topology. So Roman 1, you're supposed to explain the term topology. You're supposed to explain what? The term topology. Roman 2, outline 3 factors other than cost he should consider before choosing the type of topology to use. Roman 1, you explain the term topology. Roman 2, you outline 3 factors other than cost he should consider before choosing the type of topology to use. Now, when we talk about topology, This is the arrangement of nodes or computers in a network. The arrangement of nodes or computers in the network. So we have types of topologies. You can have the bus topology, you can have the star topology, the ring topology, you can have even the mesh topology, the hybrid topology. So which are the factors you have to consider before selecting a topology? Other than cost, if you can explain it from cost. Then let me start from that cost itself. But together, you can have what? The installation cost. The length of the cable is able to adapt to the cost. The longer the cable, the more expensive it is. Still, you can have maintenance cost. In case now the network breaks down, you have to incur some cost for maintenance. Then another factor you have to consider is what we call the scalability. You have to consider what? The scalability. Consider the scalability. That topology should allow the addition of new nodes. It should allow the addition of new nodes. For example, in case you want to add new computers, you can add. And now, as you add the new nodes, together, as you add what the new nodes, the performance of that network should remain the same. Together, the performance of that network should remain what? Should remain the same. That is what we call scalability. Then there is what we call flexibility. We have flexibility. For you, there is what we call flexibility. That topology should allow the reconfiguration. Should allow the reconfiguration and should have the minimal downtime. For example, maybe you have assigned, maybe initially you had assigned this computer this IP address. That topology should allow the user or the administrator to change what? That IP address within the minimum time. Then there is what we call the ease of installation. The ease of installation. Is what we call the ease of installation. It will be very, very easy to install that topology. In case of installing that is the topology, very, very easy. Then there is what we have ease of maintenance. What we call the ease of maintenance. It will be very, very easy to maintain that topology. In case now the network fails, maybe the switch is off. It should take the minimum time to rectify or troubleshoot that problem. Then still there is what we call availability. Remember that topology is being depended upon by various users. It should always be available to the users. It must be reliable. It must be reliable. It must provide the resources at any given time. So let me just show you the types of topologies. Although we had covered them somewhere, let me just show you the bus topology whereby, for example, in the bus topology, we must be having a linear transmission cable whereby all other computers or other nodes are connected to. Let me just remind you the bus topology. Let me just show you. Let me just share the yeah, we have I can see this diagram here. We're having some topologies here. This is what we call the bus topology. We have the bus topology. In this one now, we're having one linear transmission cable. We are having one linear transmission cable, and all other computers are connected to that cable. That is what we call a bus topology. Then there is what we call a star topology. In a star topology, we must be having a central device. And that device can be a switch, can be a hub, together. Or it can be a server whereby all other computers or other nodes are connected to that central device. But now the main problem is that the start topology, in case now the central device is off, the network is out, the entire network is off. You can have this one. This is what we call a star topology. This is what we call a star topology. You're having a central device. It can be it can be a switch or a hub. You have said in the case now this central device fails, the whole network fails. What if in an exam you are requested now, what if this computer is not working? What will be the effect on that network? Even if now this is not working, it would affect together. So in this network now, is true, the computers are arranged in a circular shape. You have a ring topology is here. You can have a ring topology. Now the main challenge or the main limitation of this topology, in case you remove one device or in case you remove one computer or node in that topology, it affects the entire network. It causes what? Network disturbance. That is what we call a ring topology. Then we discussed a mesh topology whereby we have a dedicated network. Not a network, a dedicated path. I can have this one. So this is what we call a mesh topology. Together. So if you look at this diagram here, it forms a mesh. It forms what? A mesh. So in this one now, we must be having a link code, which we call a dedicated link. We must be having a dedicated link. And for that link now, it is used to carry traffic. Used to do what? To carry traffic. This is what we call a dedicated link. Then we can have a hybrid topology, whereby a hybrid means what? A combination. So you can have two topologies which have been combined, either a mesh topology, a path topology, a star topology, and a what? And a ring topology. You can have the hybrid. Here, hybrid, you can see it now. You can have this one. Now, if you look at this one, this is a path topology. From this point is a what? Is a path topology. But look at this one, this is a what? A star topology. A star topology. So this is a combination of a what? Of a path topology and a what? And a star topology. I hope you can see that. Honest. I hope you can see that. Honest. Honest. I hope you can see that.
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, then if you look at this diagram still here, the hybrid, if you look at this one also. In this one, you're having this is a star topology. This is a what? This is a star topology. But this is a what? A link topology. So this is a combination of two topologies here. A star topology at this point, and you have what? A link topology. Yeah. In case you're requested now, you can illustrate using a diagram.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that was enough for today. That was the revision I had prepared for you for this morning. I think we're able to cover some questions from different past papers. Yeah. Yes. And I have been sharing past papers. I think have you seen the rings on these notes? Have you seen those rings?
There's
some links for in case you want to access these past papers online, I have shared the link. I hope you can see them. You go through them. Yes. Yeah. So how was the class today?
The class was fun.
It was fine.
But
so
excuse, let me ask some questions.
Yeah, you can ask.
Okay, when we were talking about the when we were talking about the factors.
Yeah, the factors. Yeah.
Where can we relate by saying the network growth?
Yeah.
Network growth.
Yeah, we can talk about it. We can talk about the network growth now. That is what we call scalability. That is what we call scalability.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And
yes. Yes, I can't hear you, Ernest. I can't hear you. Yes, Ernest.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
Mary, yes.
Yeah, there is. You're asking about the growth together. We have said that is what we call the scalability together. The growth together, the addition of units to the network. Yeah, the question.
And I was asking, there's a team I saw a question asking.
Yeah.
Differentiate between.
Yeah.
Let me look for it.
Yeah. Just confirm the question. Just confirm.
I once met a question saying, here is the question.
Yeah,
Uh, difference
yeah.
between a hub, switch, and a route.
Yeah, maybe let me just give the differences now between the hub, router, and the switch together. So these are the functions of these devices together. We see now for the router now it is used to connect what two different wide area networks together. That is one together for the router. And instead of the router, it is used to connect or it is used to forward the packet to the intended destination together. Intended destination. And instead we say for the router it is used to connect to the ISP, the company that provides what the internet services. That is the one that is the router together.
Yes.
Then we have the switch. We see now the switch now. The switch it is used to extend the network together. It is used to connect multiple devices together. Still, a switch has more number of ports than a hub together than a what? A hub. A switch is more intelligent than a what? Than a hub together.
Yes.
But now when we talk about the hub now, a hub performs the same function as the switch. But now the hub has what? Less number of ports. A hub has less number of ports. Still, a hub is not intelligent as the what? As the together. An hub can connect like 10 devices or 5 devices. That's the difference. Any other question?
Those are just the questions.
Yeah, that is okay. So what I'll do now, I'll leave a question. I think I'll leave a question on this platform together.
Yes.
Yeah, let me just leave it. Let me just leave it before I close. Let me just leave the question. I want to work on the question. I think I'll mark it.
Okay.
Just yeah, so next I've put the question is supposed to discuss together. There's a question there together.
Yes.
And as you have seen it, we have this one. Netscape management intends to acquire a real-time processing system. When you get to the organization, you explain the benefits of this type of what data processing system together. You're supposed to work on it.
Oh, you've posted it.
I posted it. I hope you can see it. You just confirm it. I've posted on the platform. You see it. He said that he said it is crap. Together, work on it. Together.
Yes.
You're supposed to submit the answers before 11. Together.
Yes.
I'll mark. Yeah, so I'll mark that. So have a good day. In case of any other question, you can ask. Yeah, so have a good day.
Thank you.
Welcome.